That's right. Don't crash. This is it then. This is the finale of ABS Racing League Season 6, Tier 1, the 15th and final round. We have a champion crowned, none other than FRT FH444, now an SRC podium sitter as well. So it's going to be all eyes on him to see what he can do in this classic Brazilian finale. Alongside me, once again, is PSR's finest, a guy that's been wanting to ratio me all week. It's PSR Jish.
Hello everyone.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing alright. Obviously here for the season finale in ABS at the Brazilian Grand Prix. A wet qualifying start, which should always be tasty for a lot of drivers, definitely tasty for a lot of us in the commentary box, and definitely for you at home. As looking forward to this race, obviously FH444 already crowned champion is Vera Fox, goes into pole position immediately, replaced by Jordan Sphere. I think that's how you pronounce that. I do apologise if I've got that completely wrong. But yeah, FH444 now crowned champion and a new SRC podium sitter, so massive congratulations to him. But let's have a look and if this title decider, what I'm saying, this season decider is a really good one.
Absolutely, and I really do hope it is, because there's been some absolutely fantastic races throughout the course of this season, and of course, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache deserves a good race as well, as Bolero Fox seems to be the most unlucky guy in the world at the moment. Last week, disconnected on the formation lap, and went to start the race, didn't go anywhere, and got disqualified, ultimately costing him a shot at the championship. But ever since then, he did it well. Maybe foreshadowing what was to come with Lewis Hamilton, because of course he handled that exceptionally last week as well. So fair play to Bolero Fox for the fight that he has put up, and obviously hopefully he can just keep that going for one final race. If you're able to invite him back, that would be greatly appreciated. I just hope it's not a race-long issue, of course. Championship should have been mine, says AMS Fairly. Well, you shouldn't have got yourself banned then. That's all I've got to respond with there, but
Oh dear.
yeah, wet qualifying, no DRS in force. It's going to be a dry race as well, so of course dry setups on the cars. Going to make this a real challenge in this fight for pole position and crucial track position as well. We've seen, of course, just about 24 hours ago, an absolutely dramatic esports race around here. Of course, Marcel Kiefer doing his best Sergio Perez impression, allowing Freddie Rasmussen to go up and go on to win the race, but of course it was not to be for the championship. Of course, Jarno Opmeer winning back-to-back championships, so massive congratulations to him. He's not watching this, he doesn't care. But just your thoughts on last night's action and what we could see tonight as FH, the champion, has crashed out here.
Oh dear. Yeah, obviously F1 Esports, it never fails to disappoint. It's close to close racing, less than a tenth of a second between probably the top 8, top 10 at times. It's just brilliant to watch the top guys on the game on form every single week. It's just brilliant to see. Obviously, massive congratulations to Jarno winning back-to-back titles. The only person to do that is Brendan Lee, 2017-2018, who has now matched the record which is held by Brendan Lee. So he's on to try and break it, try and get a triple championships in a row. I wish him the best of luck, but currently Jordan Sphere on pole position. FH444, the champion, has crashed out, as he just saw, but obviously nothing to lose here. He's just out for a bit of fun, a little bit of a Friday night drive, and looking for a bit of fun. Efrain Plaki currently on a lap going towards the double right-hander, long right-hander onto the curve. Very, very difficult. No, where Zero Frank breaks into the 14s, 14.959. This man is definitely on form and definitely a future champion in anything he puts his mind to.
Absolutely, ERL Franek, he set his ambitions high. He wants to be up there one day in esports, and I really do think he's got the potential to do it. Still still only young is Franek, the young Pole, of course, that quoted, I think, a couple of weeks ago, that was here to disturb the party, the inevitable championship fight. But, you know, it's no coincidence that he's up there. He's absolutely rapid, this guy, and yeah, I really do hope he goes on to achieve big things. And yeah, Joran, who's been absolutely rapid on the qualifying front recently. Remember back to Mexico, he had incredible race pace there as well. He was just gone, but well, that did not play out. Unfortunately, the win went to FH that day. Still his only win of the season, but his consistency since Canada, as we all know from FH, has been impeccable. With the track conditions still likely to improve, I think FH is going to have a real challenge on his hands to fight his way up the field today. But champion, bit of fun, bit of a challenge, who cares? You know, he's been absolutely brilliant this week, and the SRC podium proving that as well. 1 minute 15.1 for V2 Combat, going up into third place there. As about halfway through the session. Who else have we got out on track? Balera Fox, about 1.5 tenths down on his best sector 2. He's probably coming into this one maybe just a little bit numb that, you know, I was kind of robbed out of being able to fight for the championship this evening, but he goes 11th fastest at the moment. Your thoughts on last week's race then? Because obviously we saw Mac from Franek from Adams as the top 3. Not a top 3 anyone would have predicted in the context of the championship battle and kind of the way qualifying went. So, you know, thinking back to last week, and could we see something similar today?
Well, I definitely hope so. Obviously, Imola definitely played out. So, within the layout of Imola, it's definitely not set to be as an exciting race if you put that there. It's not many overtaking opportunities, but it definitely, oh my goodness, Cesar Bottas gets that very wrong at the exit of Bookends into Ticino del Lago and has a little bit of a spin. But yeah, Imola was definitely one of the definitely great races last week. It was definitely also played for the top 2, absolutely battling out toe-to-toe every lap. It's unfortunate that Franek got that penalty late on, which definitely cost him the win in the end. But that unfortunately sometimes is racing, as PSR Gorgon has another spin in to add a turn to these wet tyres, definitely not paying him any dividends, and on to the curb, definitely very wet there, no grip at all. But yeah, Imola was definitely a very good race, hoping for a bit more of the same this week.
I agree, I really do hope we get that, and like I said, this track really does deserve it. Traditional sort of wet qualifying, there's always a threat of rain at Brazil, and we've got just that. Bourbon Boy since invalidated, but crosses the line to do a 16.8, the winner in his first and only appearance of the season at the United States, where he showed this league and the rest of the league racing community what he could do as well. Of course, a winner in WOR, which is you know, not something he thought he'd be saying towards the start of this game cycle, that's for sure. AMS Nitro, what's he up to? He's actually purple in the middle sector. There's only one driver that's put in a 14 so far. That's ERL Franek with a 14.959. So, big lap time to beat here, but Nitro taking the short route up to the line. Has he been able to do it? No, he hasn't. It's only a 15.4 at the moment. FRA Plakey still out there as well. About 2 tenths down in the middle sector, so it's not looking likely that he's going to improve. Maybe the track conditions getting surprisingly just a little bit worse. But PSR Mac has found time in the first sector through the Senaresses and down towards the Desida del Lago, of course. 2 very famous overtaking zones, and we will see the bulk of the action there today. Up the hill goes PSR Mac. Now into turn 8, now turn 9. Easy, very easy. You've got to let the car just roll through there, take the apex, pick it up. Difficult traction zone. Now, of course, turn 10. Need to look no further than 2019 for a moment written into the history books there. And Mac has lost time in the second sector. So, yeah, I'm just curious whether this track is actually improving or not, or maybe we're just seeing tyres start to wear, momentum just lost a little bit as Mac comes up to the line and he does not improve on his lap.
No, definitely not. Mac just losing a little bit of time there. Meanwhile, Placky did go purple in sector 1, and he's gone purple in sector 2. He's 3 tenths up at the moment. This is looking like pole at the moment. 15.191 he's sitting on at the moment. If he can get it right into the final sector, which is practically fully flat out for the FRA driver onto the back straight, and across the line goes Placky. And it is pole position, absolutely smashing that time out the park. 14.739, goes 2 tenths quicker than Franek, exactly 22.23 to be precise, and he's on pole position with 4 minutes and 50 to go. That was a stunning lap from Placky right there.
Sensational. Just when, you know, I'm sat here questioning, okay, is this track improving? FRA Plaky, what a stunning lap, and will that one be beaten? That is now the question. V2 Combat out there. We're seeing a lot of consecutive laps going on, as you do tend to see in the wet. 3 sets of intermediate tyres available to the drivers. Of course, will not be needed in the wet, so they can throw whatever they've got at this qualifying session. To be honest, it's a real driver's scenario. The driver makes the difference in these sort of conditions, particularly in these obviously equal spec cars, as Jarv is going to be next to cross the line. He crosses the line and goes 5th. Really good lap from Jarv, and we always love seeing him fight up towards the top. I hope that stands in the remainder of this qualifying session. Great lap there from Jarv.
Yeah, definitely puts up into P5, definitely a solid lap there, 50.321, just goes a little bit quicker than Nitro by about a tenth of a second. V2 Combat just starting his final couple of laps in the Ferrari, coming towards the centre. As Jordan Smith is also out there in the Williams. Zero Franek hasn't validated his first one, so trying to back off that one. ABS job, obviously, just finishing up there in 5th. Better Fox in currently P8 at the moment, off the high of the qualifying in Imola, but again, probably you could say he was robbed yesterday by the game, which definitely disqualified him for no apparent reason. Which you all definitely love to see. Definitely wasn't happy about that. Definitely a championship was looking very tasty for him there as he just backed off of his lap. Franek still coming towards the final corner. Jun Shout to finish his final flying lap, and I think Better Fox will be trying for another one. TRT Evan currently 91,000 stuff going into the Sino del Lago. Verlies as well coming towards sector 2, just putting in some lap times there. Venom added the Sino del Lago as well. Who's the closest to the line? We've got an Aston Martin. I think that's Amos Nitro coming towards the line. No, it wasn't. That was TRTC. I apologise. Coming up to the line, he could not improve, as I think that is someone who's improved. Maybe my eyes deceiving me. Not quite sure.
V2 Combat. Yeah, I think it was V2 Combat there. Just going a little bit quicker and actually beating Joran Sver there. So, yeah, you were right. Improvements being made. Errol Franek has had a very poor first sector, and he's now in the way of FRA Plaky, but he is on an outlap, so there'll be no sort of investigations going on there. Obviously, it's been a big topic, this whole reprimand stuff in the last week, particularly last Friday or Saturday FP3, I don't know, but F3 and F1 done and dusted. Who cares about that anymore? But as the controversy continues, hopefully there'll be none of that tonight. It is looking like a feisty battle so far, entering the last 1 minute and 40 seconds in this one. Who have we got out on laps at the moment? John Sver still actually just in front of AZ Bottas. V2 Combat has backed off. ERL Franek taking a very wide line to set himself up for one more. We do see that tend to see that used. TRT Evan improving, and we have drivers coming to the line. I think that was Seed again, and then Franek, and so on. So just 1 minute to go here. Who do you think can make the difference here, Jish?
Well, Franek definitely has something special under that right foot. He has a little bit of a slide out of turn 3. How much does that hurt his sector 1? Let's have a look. As he comes across the line, he's 3/10 down. I think he has a little bit more time to try and do one more if he's quick about it. This lap definitely not looking pretty good for Placky as well on a flying lap. Can he go any quicker? That is pole time of 14.735 just coming out of sector 2 at the moment. Bella Fox earlier on just put it into P5 with a 15.253, which goes in front of his fast teammate PSR Mac. We stay on board with FA Blackie coming into Jun Chao. Is he up by anything? No, he's not. He's half a second down. So not much improvements anywhere at the fields. In the top 2 will Franek get to the line. That's a massive step. That's a big spin. And that has definitely ruled out anything of trying to get a fast up on the board. And he does retire from a crash. So he will not be getting pole position as the final laps are over. But Blackie did get to the line into time. V2 Combat currently coming towards the line. He is down on his time.
Oh no!
And what has happened there?
Oh, it's Bourbon Boy. And it was looking so good for him. He was about just over 7 seconds up, I believe, which could have been enough to be very, very competitive. But he's thrown it away at Jun Sao, as drivers so often do. Oh, that's such a shame, as he would have been right up there. But it seems that as it stands, he's got a Lasta question mark challenge on his hands. Real shame. FRA Plaky still was able to get another one. Joran Spare to the line! Oh my word! A 1 minute 14.6. And that has silenced the field.
Wow, that is a good lap from Jordan Smith there. But FRA Placky is still on a lap time at the moment. Is he improving? No, he's not. So it could be Jordan Smith who snatches pole position at the death there by literally half a tenth of a second, 58 thousandths to be precise, because Placky is not improving. As he comes to the line and he does back out of it, and it will not be Placky on pole position. Bella Fox did have time for whatever reason, though he didn't. That's just a timing glitch. So here's Jordan Smith on pole position.
A lap set right at the death of that one. That was absolutely brilliant. Perfect when it needed to be from Joran. It's just now, can he convert this? Very up and down season for him, but he seems to be one of the quickest in this tier at the moment. And, well, it's coming at a very encouraging time. He's hit peak form towards the back end of this season, and that's another pole position for him ahead of FRA Plaky just, then ERL Franek. I'm looking forward to this fight between the top 3, particularly V2 Combat in 4th, Balera Fox in P5, Venom in P6, TRT Valise in P7, then Mac, Nitro and Jarv. I think that's a very feisty top 5 or 6 in particular. You've got FH, who crashed early on, down in P14, about a second off the pole time in the end. So he's got progress to make. Bourbon Boy's got progress to make. I think this is going to be absolutely brilliant. Jarv was looking forward to it earlier on as the sun comes out. I hope you're looking forward to this, Jish, because obviously I certainly am.
Yeah, definitely. It's setting up to be a good one. You've got a lot of fast drivers near the bottom, you would say. Obviously, Bourbon Boy can definitely make the difference. Try and go from last to first if he can. But obviously, you've got Placky in P2 on the front row. A lot of people electing for the mediums, which is probably a no-brainer. It is try it for the race. Placky obviously in P2. Jean Smear in P1, trying to defend from Placky all he can going into turn one. He's got ERR Franek as well. That is a feisty top 3, I must say. Placky, Franek, and Joran Smear. That is definitely a very tasty battle with Bella Fox obviously on the alternate strategy as well. But Placky and Joran definitely committing to that soft strategy, as well as Venom, PSR Mac and Nitro all in the top 10 electing for the softs, which is interesting. So definitely just want to go for the easy soft medium, but they'll definitely be maybe thinking about it later on in the race when a couple of the drivers are a little bit quicker than them.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Franek can do in fine form at the moment. Podium last week, podium back in Portugal and a win in Hungary as well. So Franek is certainly going to be putting in his A game once again. Of course, last week's race winner, Mac, he starts down in P8, and we know just how aggressive but perfectly aggressive he can be. in terms of making overtakes. Top 2 on softs. Franek, V2 Combat, Bellerofox on the mediums, and then Venom on the softs as well. 3 drivers opting for softs in that top 6, 3 opting for mediums. I told you it'd be quite a feisty top 5 or 6. I think we have, you know, a backup on that, considering this strategy as well. Alan E has gone aggressive, going for softs. AZ Bottas and NRX Adams, I believe, perhaps in a party together. I was just chatting with them before the commentary, but not sure what's going on there. NRX Adams going for the soft tyres. FRT Heaven as well. We have a full grid. That's always a bonus. And the Sao Paulo Grand Prix awaits. It's a very fast formation lap. Jish, any predictions for this final race?
Plucky definitely probably looking good on the softs as well. Franek probably won't get the best of jumps off the line as he is on the mediums, the harder compounds. Will definitely slow him down in the first phases of the lap. But hopefully he can maybe try and get something done. Plucky obviously definitely looking good, but Joran Smith definitely, if he can get that getaway really better than Plucky, then he will be leading into turn 1. Obviously a no-brainer, but he can try and keep that going into Destino del Lago. Remember, it's not done into turn 1. You have a back straight of out of the curves, and definitely another overtaking opportunity going into Destino del Lago. So anything can happen in this lap, and definitely in the first sector.
For FRA Plaky, he's done 3 races this season, finished on the podium in 2 of them. The other one being a DNF, so let's hope it doesn't even out and he can produce a show for us today. Here we go, one final time then. In 2021, for ABS Racing League, here in Tier 1. Lights out, and away we go, and it's a mega getaway from FRA Plaky. It's a slow one for Joran Sver. He drops down into second. FRA Plaky taking the lead. Franek still in P3. V2 Combat holding on to P4, but look at FRT Venom. He's already passed Bellerofox and up into P5, and already looking to get down of the inside at Destino del Lago on V2 Combat, 6th to 4th at the start for FRT Venom. He's got that done easily as Bellerofox spins out at the start. Could this guy get any more unlucky? I do not believe it. Heartbreaking scenes once again for the 2nd race in a row as Bellerofox, just through, it seems, no fault of his own, just being absolutely pegged back in everything he does.
Yeah, definitely more unluckiness for Bellerofox there, but Plucky getting an absolutely amazing start off the lights. Joran Smith definitely did react very, very, very late to the lights, and he's paid for the price for that. He didn't even have go side by side going into turn 1. He had to use a lot of his battery to try and get closer to Plucky as he is now, as Plucky does lead, but Joran Smith is definitely right up his tail, trying to use the slipstream as much as he can. Obviously just wants to bear in mind his ERS deployment as well, as they come in to the center S's as Venom has had a little bit of a look, I believe.
He has. That was late breaking. Venom is giving it absolutely everything. He's trying to catch up to his 2 main rivals in this race, both on the soft tyres. Joran Sver getting close and looking set to make a move on lap 3 when the DRS is enabled. Sorry to interrupt you there, but I thought Venom was going to send it, and he may just do that. No! Oh no, he's hit Franek. There was definitely a bit of lag involved with that one, but ERL Franek has been spun around here. He did just pinch Venom slightly, but I think the contact was what sent him absolutely flying, and he's still not under control. Both Bellerofox and Franek, 2 very valiant competitors in this race, now, through no fault of their own, have a massive recovery job, as meanwhile Joran Sver in the slipstream once again. DRS going to be enabled as we cross the line, and he'll have it going into Destino del Lago, but he's going to go down the inside anyway. And you know what this means? FRA Plaky is now going to have the DRS on the Dutchman. So let's see what plays out here. Plaky has got plenty of battery, and I think he's just going to hold stations for the time being. Joran Sver taking the aggressive approach here.
Yeah, definitely. Joran Smith definitely gets the job done as Franek retires in the pit lane on lap 3. Just unfortunate to get that contact going into the fast right-hander, but Joran Smith getting the job done. Doesn't want to wait around. Didn't want to wait for that DRS. Plucky is relegated to P2. Meanwhile, just focus back down the field. Bubble Boy has already gone from 20th to 13th in 3 laps. He's absolutely flying at the moment on these medium compound tyres. Meanwhile, Heaven and Jaffa getting closer and closer again, going in to Jun Chao. Jaffa just a little bit of a lift off that left-hander, but he can't do anything, can Heaven, to try and get in front. FRT, FH444 challenging on his ex-FRT compatriot of Evan, who's now joined TRT a couple of months ago, as Joran Smith definitely absolutely flying at the moment. But here comes FH444, side-by-side action between the A2 Alphas. Side-by-side they go into the S's, and does Evan leave him room? Yes, he does. A switchback move is on offer, but FH444 way ahead going into the corner, and he's up into P9.
The champion on the move. That's just what we wanted to see in this one. He's now up to P9, further forward. A battle between... Oh, Max got off the track. He's got it wrong. And he comes back on still just in front of TRT Valais, but I've been corrected. Of course, FRA Plakey is Dutch as well, so we've got 2 Dutchmen fighting for the leaders. Look at this, Alan E, as soon as I cut away for one moment, is under massive pressure from TRT Valais. Oh no, Venom! And Venom spins out from 3rd place, and you know exactly what this reminds me of. Just a week ago, I was commentating WOR Tier 3, and no one that was in remote contention for the lead or the win of the race even, you know, finished anywhere near. Everyone was spinning out, people were dropping like flies, and it seems that we've got that sort of situation here this evening, as here comes TRT Valais on PSR Mac. Lot of struggling drivers here in this pack, but Mac under pressure from NRX Adams, and that is an incredible move, incredible from NRX Adams. He gets in front now of PSR Mac, but for how much longer, as it's almost a NASCAR bump draft from the Haas driver, and his fellow Brit gets through on him. Incredible scenes, and it's only lap 5.
Absolutely. Mac obviously trying to do his best to try and cover from Adams, but Adams gets the job done. Now he's got his another compassion. Oh my goodness me, what has happened there? Alan and Adams has hit each other. They're both rounds. I have no idea what happened there. Alan was like 2 cars back, I believe. Maybe that was a little bit of a pitch by someone as Gorgon makes a switchback, dives it down the inside of the Ferrari, using the Lando Norris number and helmet, which is interesting. As Alan now gets swallowed up, trying to get a switchback on Gorgon. Does he dive it down the inside of Jun Chao? No, he does not. Gorgon up into 12th. Alan and Adams now way down the field. Adams now down in dead last is Placky. Still trying something on Joran Sphere into the SS They Go. Can he get anything going into Decina de Largo as FH444 dispatches of PSR Mac before the S's? Placky has no answer this time. He's getting closer, but not close enough as Alan and Gorgon continue to fight, as Adams is another retirement, I believe, of this race. And there it is. I do believe it. More yellow flags, and is that Venom once again going for a spin? Yes, it is. And it's not been a great day for some of the top boys.
It hasn't, and to be honest, history just repeats itself. I mean, Brazil never fails to deliver in terms of chaos, in terms of racing, and Venom goes straight on. If this causes a safety car, this would be controversial. It's a virtual safety car at the moment, and this still may throw a spanner in the works in terms of strategy. Obviously, in terms of race time, you lose a lot less under a virtual safety car. So we'll see what the top 2 do here. There's Plakey, I believe. Is he going to come into the pits? No, he isn't. He pulled to the inside of that white line, maybe signifying he was going to go in, but he doesn't. He stays out. Will continue his pursuit of his fellow Dutchman.
Yeah, definitely. Just wants to stick by, and there's no really point of pitting that early. Just wants to get it done as quick as possible. Virtual safety car is out, as you see. We probably get racing in a couple of moments time, as only Alan deciding to pit, going into the virtual safety car onto the mediums. V2 Combat with a drive through penalty. as there's been just a little bit, he's jumped the gun there just ever so slightly on that restart, and Blackie not had a good restart either. He's already second down on Joran into one corner, 1.1 now, and he's definitely not had a good getaway, and it's definitely not ended the way he wanted to.
Another one of our podium contenders really throwing it away here. I mean, obviously race not over yet, but it's a steep uphill battle from here. He may well take it this lap, V2 Combat, but it's going to be put in, you know, he's going to be put right in the back. He won't even be put into traffic as there's a yellow flag as NRX Adams has done the same thing as Venom. I know this was something they were talking about, straight lining walls, but again, if this does cause a form of safety car, it could be very controversial, but I believe we've gone without this time. So that's good news in terms of the fluidity of the race. If a race can be fluid, I don't know, but FH after P4 now. The champion to the outside of Desina de Largo when Lewis Hamilton was forced off by Max Verstappen. He is fighting Mercedes here, but respect on the racetrack. Nothing desperate going on here. FH is a driver that without a doubt knows how to race cleanly. It's under still a lot of pressure from Mac, Evan, and you know, the train goes back to Bourbon Boy. So Bourbon Boy 20th to 10th so far, FH 14th to 5th. Great comebacks by the two superstars in the making.
Yeah, absolutely. Venom, what am I saying? FH Triple 4 up into P5. He's had a great start so far under pressure from Mac, but he should have the buffer with the DRS as well on Verlies as he's getting closer and closer and closer going into the S's. Is he close enough to try and make a lunge? Surely he doesn't go for it. He had a little bit of a look, but not enough. There's more yellow flags. Is that Jaffa going slowly? No, it's not. It's PSR Gorgon into the pit lane. Something's happened there. Not sure what, but FH Triple 4 still closing in on Verlies going into Desina de Largo. It's still not quite close enough to make anything of it as Gorgon is another retirement, but down to 14 on lap 9. Yellow flag in sector 1. Evan is getting closer. Mac is getting closer to FH Triple 4 through the long right, but I think he has it covered going in to the right-hander. This battle from P4 down all the way to about P10, definitely heating up with Bob at the back of the train, not really enjoying it with the DRS train in use, but he can definitely get up the field as much as he can and try and pounce on these top 4.
Absolutely. Obviously FH and Mac on the mediums at the moment. Heaven may well disrupt this sort of train at the moment, but V2 Combat, of course, coming in for his drive-through, as we can see there. So everyone else will jump up a position, and this is now a fight for a podium position. FH versus TRT Verlies, and from what we've seen so far, I don't think it's actually quite ideal being in a podium position, but here comes FH, overtaking Gage, DRS open. Will he try and force himself into the smallest gap possible? No! He's gone around. Oh no, and the Hasses hit him as well. PSR Mac hits the spinning champion. Oh, that is absolutely disastrous as Mac goes off the track once again. There's absolutely nothing left on that Haas front wing, and that's surely going to be a race-ending moment for PSR Max. Such a shame. That's not how we wanted it to end.
Yeah, definitely.
By any means.
Yeah, definitely not. It was probably a little bit naughty from TRT Verlies to squeeze FH as he did on the back straight. A little bit naughty, forcing me onto the grass. But FH,
I think Heaven's struggling.
Probably, yes. Heaven's struggling again. I think, does he have a front wing damage? Let's have a look. Maybe just something happening on the cars. We have a massive room now. Jaffa.
Goodness me!
That is 3 wide down the straight. That is brilliant racing as Ball Boy in the background getting Jaffa as well. He dives it down the inside of Evan. That was very, very close to contact there. As Evan getting close to Evan. This should be a fairly easy move with the DRS advantage. Mac with a 5-second penalty. Here comes Evan. Side-by-side action going into Desina de Largo. Does Evan hold it around the outside? Yes, he does. He's still side-by-side going into Desina de Largo. Evan doesn't get the exit he wants. He's still closing in on Evans. They come into the right, but here comes Bourbon Boy trying to sandwich in. It's 4-1 almost going into the right-hander as Amos Jaffa trying to get into the battle as well as Heaven. Still trying it around the outside of Evan as Bourbon Boy slips it down the inside of Evan as well. Gets the job done into P5, now into P4. He's absolutely flying at the moment, Bourbon Boy, in that Mercedes, and he's still closing in on Evan through the left. A massive snap for Evan into Decina, into Jun Chao now. He doesn't think about it. He wants to wait for the DRS, and they still remain 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th with Jaffa. Gonna get a very, very tasty slipstream now alongside everyone as Bourbon Boy goes side by side, easy as you like, on Heaven, as here comes Evan as well, and here comes Jaffa to 4 P6, and Heaven has absolutely lost a lot of positions there, three positions into one as they're battling together. The McLaren, and there goes Heaven, a massive crash, and that should be a safety car surely.
Oh, that's not how we wanted it to end once again, and a safety car has come out. I don't believe it. They were pretty much 2 by 2 there for the whole flipping lap. Oh, I don't believe it. Poor Heaven. It's a double DNF for AlphaTauri. Double DNF for Alpine as well. So a shocking day, in all honesty, for some of the teams. But, oh, gut-wrenching stuff. Yeah, it looked for a moment Heaven was about to lose 3 positions in the space of just 1 DRS straight, proving just how incredible that battle was. But unfortunately, it ends in tears, it ends in a crash, it ends in a safety car as V2 Combat has left the session. Obviously, he's back in this race with the safety car, so if you could get him back in, that would be fantastic. But safety car here, 8 DNFs. They're really racking up. As into the pits comes Joran on the medium tyres. He goes Plakey onto the mediums as well. These two will come out 1 and 2. Do the Dutchman. TRT Verlies switching to soft tyres. Interesting choice from himself. We'll see what the rest of the medium runners do here. Hards for Jaffa. Softs for Evan. Softs for Bourbon Boy and Nitro as well. So AMS Jaffa is going to look to take the safe option to the end of this race, but a lot of action going on. Anyone could just be wrong place, wrong time. V2 Combat, of course, he left the session, so his AI has kept him out here. He would have obviously been still towards the back if he had pit, and that would still be the case if he was to pit. But we're behind the safety car now. A chance for the race to be neutralised. A chance to get our breaths back. What could unfold from here?
Yeah, definitely interesting stuff. There's Placky and Joran all pits. Both pit for the mediums simultaneously. Verlies on the sausage is very interesting. Want to get close to the battling pair as quick as possible. Evan currently in P5. Alan is 6th. Everyone pitting either onto the softs or the mediums. It's only Joran and Placky on fresh mediums. Alan has fresh-ish mediums on 5 laps, but Bourbon Boy, Nitro, FH, Bell, Evan, and Verlies all on the soft compound tyres. So Jaffa and Seed all on the hards, which is very interesting to see. Which is not what I would, not what I expected at all. Jaffa makes the pits in for the hards, definitely knowing that it was not the correct decision. And so does Seed as well. So almost hitting Fox into the pit lane as everyone, the top the ninth down, all pits off those hards.
Back onto
Jaffa
mediums.
on mediums, Seed on mediums, as Bell pits as well, which are onto the mediums. So it was interesting why they pitted onto the softs as well, because they definitely couldn't make it to the end. So it was I didn't really realise the point of going to the softs, but maybe just want people track position there and then try and make a gap and then pit later, or maybe just try and conserve them, try and get the lead and conserve them to the end.
I believe what they were trying to do is they were trying to get, obviously, off the mediums onto a different set of tyres so they could go back onto the mediums without another pit stop for the end of the race. And, of course, it was a wet qualifying, so 2 fresh sets are available. So, obviously, these 4 have now pitted. They started on the mediums, but they're now back onto the medium tyres with a fresh set. So, yeah, that could actually be very, very wise. And if the 4 remaining soft runners do follow suit. Yeah, very wise, in fact, from Jaffa, Bourbon Boy, Bolero Fox, and Seed. Because obviously softs are never getting to the end from here, so they are pretty much guaranteed 3 or 4 positions potentially. As the safety car is in this lap, Joran Sver will get us back underway with FRA Plakey back up close to his rear wing. Then it's TRT Verlies with a penalty. This is how the penalties look. 3 seconds for Joran, 3 seconds for TRT Verlies, and 3 seconds for Alan E, who's been involved in his fair share of chaos this evening so far. Going to start lap 15 of 36 as Joran Sver gets a mega restart. We're foot to the floor. We're racing again in Sao Paulo as Alan E gets past his lagged out teammate of V2 Combat. Action further back as Jaffa looks to get around the outside at turn 2 on FH. Perhaps a bit too much of a risk to take considering the difference in tyre compound at the moment. TRT Verlies on the soft tyres, TRT Evan on the soft tyres may well be pressuring these front 2 drivers as Nitro there and Alan E and V2 Combat obviously dropping all the way to the back of the field. Pretty limited in terms of side-by-side action so far, but you can understand it considering the chaos in this race so far.
Yeah, definitely. Joran just absolutely went and caught Plakey napping there. Was not expecting him to go that early. Was Plakey, and he's now paid the price. 1.5 is the gap between the two, and Verla's much on his rear end now on those soft compounded tyres. Definitely doing well, and obviously definitely much quicker in the starters. Jaffa still closing in on FH444, but here comes Verla's for P2, and this should be a fairly easy move on Plakey side-by-side action, but just those soft compound tyres just so much more quicker. They still go side-by-side. Does Plakey try it around the outside? No, he doesn't, with Evan closing in. Nitro gets past into Alan. There's a little bit of contact made, going for the smallest gap. That was very risky indeed, but they've come out of it alive. It's FH444 now on the back of Alan, and now has cleared Alan, and further up the field, that's Evan trying on Plakey side-by-side going into the Decina de Lago, and Plakey is dropping like flies here on the medium compound tyres. And he's not got a lot of temperature onto those mediums. It's not looking great at the moment as FH still closing in on Nitro. He's a man on a mission at the moment on those soft compounded tyres from that spin earlier on. As Amos Jaffa makes a huge lunge on Alan, and that was never going to work in a month of Sundays. And Jaffa is now at the back of the field and is now plumb last.
Wow. Very optimistic from Jaffa. Like you said, never gonna work. I like that, in a month of Sundays. I think that's brilliant what you've just said. But yeah, seems to be missing the interval gap. But it seems, despite the difference in compounds, Joran Sver is still pulling away significantly. So it's going to be a fight now with the DRS enabled between TRT Verlies and TRT Evan for this P2 on track so far. If it does turn into a with 2 sets of soft tyres for these guys, this is going to be really fascinating because they seem like a really rapid compound for this sort of scenarios. Is AMS Nitro going to get down the inside of Plakey? He runs a bit wide. He has to tap the rear diffuser of the Red Bull, and he's staring down that Honda branded rear wing, just looking for a way past it, in all honesty, as FH hot on his heels as well. Be waiting for the DRS towards the Senna S's, that's for sure, as they climb up again towards turn 10 and then downhill through the flat out turn 11 into as tight a line as possible. Now up through turn 12, a steep climb. It's the very top of the circuit once again. And here we go. FH seems to have a great run, but the DRS flap is going to open for Nitro as well. And here comes Nitro. Which way did he go? He's going to the outside. FH is going to the inside. And it's going to be side by side between the Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin into turn 1. And FH with a champion's double overtake. That is incredible once more from the Irishman.
That is absolutely brilliant from FH. 2 in 1 for the Irishman, and he's got it done into the S's and leads into the Decina de Lago. Absolutely fantastic move on both of them. Plakey just left for dead without the DRS as Nietzsche went further right, but FH went for the left, and it paid off for him on the racing line, if you like, or on the better line going into turn 1 if you want to make that move done. And he's already up into P4 and now challenging the back of his teammate of Evan in the top 3, now 9 tenths between Evan and Verlies, and Verlies just can't really keep up with Uran at the moment, but further down the field, Seed and Alan making the move done. Alan looking like he made a mistake there, and already down into P10 on those 10-lap old mediums, not serving him very well at all, as V2 Combat now last, as Jaffa did overtake him, as still Plucky closing up to Nitro, but not enough. But FH4 still in P4, Evan in third, Verlies in second, and you're leading comfortably by 1.5 seconds.
He is indeed. Bourbon Boy has lost touch with the pack ever so slightly, so Bolero Fox has a great opportunity here. He opens the DRS. Is he going to use any overtake? No, he's going to stay behind, going in towards Decida Delago at turn 4, now down through turn 5. Bourbon Boy, it's just not been his finest day, but he has made great progress. He is on the medium tyres, of course, so still plenty of opportunities in this one. If the soft runners do pit again, which is likely, this is still a net P3, so 20th to 3rd. Actually, I take back what I said. It has been actually quite a fine race so far from Bourbon Boy, but he just needs to try and close in that gap on FRA Plaky. He needs to get back within DRS range, which is going to be a massive stretch as this pack continues to pull away in this small DRS train, led at the moment by TRT Evan in P3, FH in P4. FH has already overtaken his teammate once. Oh no, he almost loses it. He gets onto the grass, which, if you're a racing driver, you know not to do. And now FH under massive pressure from Nitro. Which way will the Aston Martin go? The two find themselves side by side once again, this time into Decida Delago, but FH manages to defend ever so well and stay in front. Heart in your mouth moment there for FH once more.
Yeah, he's got away. He's definitely counted his lucky stars there. FH with that little bit of stroke of death there, but Nitro was unable to try it around the outside of Decima Delago. FH4 did have it covered, and still remains a P4, but he's lost a huge chunk of time to Evan. It was 3 tenths, now into 8 tenths. It's not looking good for FH if he wants that podium. He obviously will get it anyway due to the penalties, and maybe even in a winning scenario at the moment. We just look on the interval, not quite at the moment. He will be getting P2 at this at the moment, but he needs to close up just ever so slightly if he does want this win. But AMS Nitro definitely closing up to FH as they come into the S's now. FH not making the same mistake twice, and now he's on the rear of his teammate.
Absolutely, FH versus Evan seems to be back on. It's almost like the coronavirus postponement there, but FH thinking about it just because it's his teammate. Who gets another penalty, so that is going to be significant for Evan. He's going to lose certainly a lot of ground if he does have to pit again as well. It's not looking so good. FH getting a massive wash of understeer there. It just did not look like those soft tyres wanted to grip up there. But he does manage to make the corner, still about 6 tenths behind his teammate, setting his sights again at potentially a move into turn 1 as up towards Junsao they go again, the 12th and final proper corner it's labelled as. And away they go, down the start-finish straight, DRS open in about 100 metres time, now open for FH. Will he go for it? He's got an incredible, powerful slipstream here. Will he go for the move into turn 1? Not on this occasion, but it does mean he's set up towards Decida Delago once more. And DRS opening for the second time in a short space of time. Overtaking Gage for FH. He's going down the inside once again. Evan breaks early. He allows his teammate through with ease. But here comes AMS Nitro with a mega exit as well. Surely not up towards turn 6 and 7. He's going to be forced the long way round. Will he switch back, go underneath the Alfa Romeo? But TRT Evan defends aggressively towards the inside. He parks his car on the apex. We're seeing drivers take notes of racecraft used, more notably by Sergio Perez, by Marcel Kiefer in the virtual world. So we'll see what part Evan has to play in keeping Nitro behind.
Yeah, Evan doing very well to help his teammate to try and get up back up the field. Is at the moment looking like he's lost a little bit of time with Abbassador, now 5 seconds behind Joran at the moment as Nitro pulls into the pits. So the two stop looking like more likely for the Aston Martin team, as Evan still closing in on FH, and I doubt he'll be making that move any speed, as he wants to try and make this try and get FH to that win as much as he can, and maybe even try for the podium. Podium's already secured at the moment, but he needs to try and defend from Blackie, whose medium compound tyre just looking ever so quicker at the moment by the softs. He's keeping the gap, and he's closing in ever so slightly.
Yeah, I agree. These mediums really coming back into this. So, as it stands at the moment, no penalties for FRA Plakey. He's going to inherit 3 positions from the soft runners. So, still a very good finish on here for FRA Plakey, as Dutch Motorsport at the moment just seems to be thriving, and it could well still be a 1-2 finish on for these two Dutchmen, as starting lap 24, about 2/3 of the way into this season finale in ABS Tier 1, in its 6th season. Into the pits comes TRT Verlies, and obviously AMS Nitro has already been in. TRT Verlies follows a lap later, and onto another set of soft tyres, going to be pushing flat out until the end. It's going to be a 12 qualifying lap scenario for the likes of TRT Verlies, Nitro, FH and Evan when they come into the pits as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the remaining third of this race holds.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think FH we'll be looking at the amounts of laps there. 12 laps to go. These softs will not last another 12 laps, maybe even not another 5 laps for that matter. Obviously, the tyre wear around Brazil is not very high, but it's definitely not 20 laps on softs high. So you'll probably be thinking about the 2 stop, definitely be thinking about trying to save as much as he can, maybe even forfeiting the P2 to Evan on track, and just trying to keep Blackie at bay as much as he can. Blackie could probably get away with it, but it'd be definitely close. But these top 2 between FH and Evan will definitely not, as FH is in.
He is in, but this unleashes FRA Plakey to try around the outside into turn 1. Reminiscent of what Alex Albon and Max Verstappen tried simultaneously in 2019, but he's going to set himself up. DRS open again, and this should be a breeze past the Alfa Romeo. He's up into 2nd place. He's past TRT Evan, and where he has been for so long in this race, of course, P2. He's back with Evan soon to pit as well. This could be a comfortable stretch to the end, but nothing's for certain in this one.
No, definitely not. FH comes out in P11, 3 seconds behind Nitro at the moment. He needs to get a move on as much as he can, as V2 Combat refusing to pit at the moment. He has joined back, he's just refusing to pit off those medium compound tyres. 24 laps he's done on them. He hasn't even made one singular pit stop. Yeah, he maybe wants to try one more lap to try and go onto the softs, and maybe hoping for a safety car late on, but I just don't see a safety car happening at the moment in time. The only way it could probably happen is Evan and Blackie battling too hard, but as I just say that, Evan pulls into the pits onto the mediums. Bourbon Boy is now up into P3 from last on the field, and currently on the podium as it stands, with Bella Fox in P4 with the penalty as well. Verlies with the fast lap, 8.195, absolutely flying on those soft compound tyres at the moment, those new soft compound tyres. There's Combat now falling into the grasp of Nitro through the S's, and these mediums are absolutely finished at the moment. DRS wide open for Nitro, and it's an easy breeze past the Ferrari, and he gets it well done into Decina Delago, and FH is up next.
Job done. Earliest possible opportunity there for Nitro to get that one done. Evan had to wait 5 extra seconds. He had a penalty to serve of 5 seconds. I believe that was for speeding in the pit lane. I will try and look at that. He got a 5-second time penalty on lap 15, which actually might have been under safety car. So I'm not too sure there, but Alan E picking up 3 seconds there, and that puts him on to 9 seconds. So his hunt for points is not looking so sure. as John Sver leads by 7.2 seconds. Bourbon Boys drop Bellerofox by almost 2 seconds, and then Bellerofox has about a 2-second gap back to Seed as well, and Seed under a fair bit of pressure here from AMS Jaffa, so a battle to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, definitely. As FH Dribble 4 gets the job done super easily of V2 Combat, who's still not pit onto the soft compound tyres. He's going to have to pit soon, as he's yet to pit. Maybe he doesn't know that. Maybe he thought his AI had already pitted, but it hasn't yet. He needs to pit in a couple of laps' time to try and go off the soft. Obviously, you will be feeling it, as it'll be definitely in puncture territory now with 26 laps on mediums. I'm not sure how long they can go, but they've definitely passed their expiry date, I would assume, as Jaffa and Seed getting to know each other. 4 tenths is the gap to Seed is Jaffa, and this should be a fairly easy move for the McLaren with the DRS advantage going into the S's side by side as they come up towards the back straight. Left or right does Jaffa choose? He chooses on the left hand side by side they go into the S's. He breezes past the Aston Martin, and Jaffa's up into P5, easy as you like, and now he can hunt with Bellerofox, but he will get that P4 on penalties either way.
Does TRT Seed have an answer? He opens the DRS, but it doesn't look like he's going to be committed to this one. You can understand why, with the two setting their sights on Bellerofox, who has a penalty to his name, of course, so they can forget about their individual fight for the moment. They can obviously set their sights going forward. Smart from TRT Seed. Could have been aggressive, could have gone straight back through. Another Dutchman in this race, of course, TRT Seed. Well represented is the Netherlands, and of course still 1-2 at the moment. Joran Sver 7.7 seconds out in front with a 3-second time penalty to his name as well. That does not, of course, cancel out the absolutely incredible shift he's put in. Yellow flag in the middle sector. It's Alan into the barrier. Safety car.
Well, that has just pulled.
Oh my goodness!
As Alan just straight lines into the wall. Maybe he had a wheel issue or whatever, but he's completely lost his front wing. As now FH V2 Combat all have 3 safety cars, and this plays very, very nicely in V2 Combat's hands. Full fresh sauce for about 6 laps to go, as Joran Sver's lead from 8.7 seconds now absolutely finished. In definitely interesting circumstances. I'm definitely certain that was not on purpose. It was definitely looking like a wheel glitch for Alan. I was not riding on board with him, but definitely not so. I would hope so. But Joran will now have to defend as much as he can. He will get a free pit stop if he's close enough. He does have the gap Placky in P2 as well. Will try and continue as well. And I'm sure this top 6, all on old mediums, will try and pit a slap with 7 laps to go in this race. And this now turns all on its head.
I'm absolutely baffled to how that's a safety car first and foremost, but V2 Combat, he was waiting for that, wasn't he? Game on in Sao Paulo as Joran Sver comes into the pit lane. FRA Plaky will follow about 8 seconds back. Then comes Bourbon Boy as well. And then Jaffa and Seed, of course, as well, all going in for the soft tyres. Will TRT Verlies take the lead here? He's still got to follow a Delta, I assume. This may be tight, you know, this may be really tight on the exit as TRT Verlies carrying a lot more speed through the actual part of the circuit. He's up into the lead. He does have 6 seconds worth of penalties, so that will perhaps demote him a few positions. But TRT Verlies is the new race leader.
Well, that's incredible. Definitely worth staying out and on fairly fresh-ish sauce, but obviously that's going to die out ever so soon. We have 6 laps to go. That will turn into 11-lap-old softs. If he can keep this going and maybe try and get to the end, I'll be very, very surprised. I think he will get to the end. Probably the win out of sight with that penalty as well. And also, Joran will have to go a long way to try and get that 3-second gone. To try and push as hard on Nitro, as Placky now down into P4 has to battle with Nitro, and on paper this is looking for a Nitro versus Placky win at the moment, with Bourbon Boy in 5th, Bellerofox is in 6th, with Evan in 7th, AMS Jaffa in 8th, with Seed in 9th, and FH is in 10th, with V2 Combat in 11th. This is played very, very well in his hands if he can try and get up the field as much as he can. And Alan at the back of the field, 27 seconds down, but we'll be pitting, we'll be coming back to the field soon alongside FHV2 Combat and himself.
It's like an F1 sprint all over again in Sao Paulo. We're going to have, what, 5 laps maybe? Obviously starting lap 31 now. We're bound to go in, perhaps on the next one. That will leave 5 laps remaining. So, a 5-lapper. And we know how chaotic those can be if you're a bit of an open lobby connoisseur. This is going to be absolute mayhem. As it stands, the net leader, AMS Nitro, it was looking like a breeze to the finish line for Joran Sver, but that has been interrupted, and he has a 3-second penalty to his name as well. A really, really bad scenario for the dominant Dutchman. FRA Plaky back into this one as well on fresh, soft tyres. This is going to be really, really, really fascinating. Getting tense already.
Absolutely, as obviously Verla's leading at the moment with that penalty, will be going down the field alongside, Joran Sver. So right now the leader is Nitro with Placky in a net P2, if you like, with Better Fox in that P3, P5. Better Fox is next with Evan, Jaffa, Seed, FH, V2 Combat, who has just pitted for fresh softs with Alan down the field as well. We may get racing this lap if Alan is close enough, and I believe he probably is, as the safety car is going fairly slowly, so we may get racing this lap. So we will have 5 laps of racing, maybe even 4, as Alan does join the field. The safety car is in this lap. We have 5 laps of racing, 4 laps of racing as we cross the finish line.
Let's have it. TRT Verlies will get us back underway with Joran Sver on fresh soft tyres, looking to get through, and he has to get through straight away if he still wants any hope of winning this race with that 3-second penalty. When will TRT Verlies go? It was a pretty early restart last time out on our previous safety car restart, and now foot to the floor once again. What a restart from Joran Sver. He reacts perfectly. Will he go to the inside? Oh yes, he will. He takes the lead at the first possible opportunity. Absolutely sensational contact between Bourbon Boy and FRA Plaky. That is a massive overtake from Bourbon Boy, but he's going to be side by side with the Red Bull. It's Red Bull versus Mercedes into Decina Delago, and will Plaky pull off the defensive moves that Max Verstappen did? Not quite as an aggressive manner, but Bourbon Boy still rooted behind the Red Bull.
Absolutely, as FH4 and Seed has had contact going into the scene of the locker. They're at the back of the field, but no damage caused as they just lose a little bit of time. More FH losing a lot, but obviously he is the champion already, so it does not really matter. But Bubble Boy diving down the inside of Placky, and how has that worked? Placky fair play to give it in the space. That was very, very late indeed by Ballman Boys. They're all battling. This will be for the win on paper at the moment, as Joran already 1 second clear of Verlies on those old soft combatants alongside Nitro. Here comes Ballman Boy on the slipstream with Placky as the clouds are starting to come in. Will we see rain in the final couple of laps in this race? We have 3 laps to go. Surely this can spice up any more with rain imminent, maybe, as we have a lot of battling going down. FH4 side by side with Alan, and that has not worked again, and Alan in the walls again. FH4 at the back of the field. This is not how the championship would have, well, not how his season would have liked to end for FH4, but it has, and definitely not in the way or the style anyone would have wanted it to end, as Bourbon Boy still closing in on Placky through the right once again. Placky still closing in on Nitro, but Bourbon Boy still closing in. We have 3 laps to go, as I said, still this battle for the win as well, closing in Nitro's favour, but can Placky and Bourbon Boy do anything? He's a dive down the inside of Bourbon Boy, and they go side by side, banging tyres through the way, as they're still side by side. Does Bourbon Boy keep it hanging? More yellow flags. That's a FH4 in the wall, as Placky dives it very late. A little bit of a squeeze, maybe even a couple of carbon fibre closing up the air, as here comes Bell Frost. Side by side action with Bourbon Boy, almost front wheel to rear wheel, as they still go side by side down the straight. Joran gets the fast lap, 17.919, as they're still banging wheels down the straight. Who is brave for? And going into turn 1, it's Bell. He's up into P5 and into the net P2. Net P3, sorry, it's Placky getting close to Nitro. DRS wide open for the Dutchman as they go side by side almost. Not quite close enough for Blackie into the scene of Delago, and he has to wait his turn as FH444 retires in the pits as we have 11 remaining with 2 laps to go.
FH's run of 6 consecutive top 5 finishes comes to an end, but I don't think that is of real concern right now, because we are witnessing an incredible, unprecedented end to this ABS Season 6 Tier 1 season. This is absolutely beautiful. This is a racer's wet dream in terms of racing this evening, and this is just brilliant as Plaky looks
Nitro
to
with the
go
penalty.
through on AMS Nitro. Yeah, he's got a penalty now, so FRA Plaky is, I believe, still net P2 in this one. He's not close enough to Joran's Fair here, but he overtakes Nitro for P3 on the racetrack. Here comes Bolero Fox as well. He's looking to get P4 on the racetrack as the gap opens up on the outside, which he almost forces Haas into, but he's just going to wait here as Bolero Fox versus Nitro versus Plaky versus Borba Boy. Everyone's involved in this. This is exactly what we wanted, as Plaky is closing down TRT Verlies, and this could be a dramatic turn of events as forcing Bolero Fox off the track. There is Borba Boy, Evan slotting into P6, Jaffa into P7, and look how close. This is F1 esports level of close racing. Oh my word! Oh my days. Bolero Fox with the send.
As Evan is off as well. Evan is off as well onto the grass, and so is Alan. They've all spun it in sector 2. What on earth has happened here?
I'll be honest, I don't know what Bolero Fox was trying there, but I think he's actually going to finish P3 in the championship, because he's not scored more than bad F1 opinion this season, who of course left with 3 races to go. Here comes FRA Plaky. He's going to get it done here. TRT Verlies makes it very, very easy for him. And on this final lap, can FRA Plaky gain 7/10 on Joran's Fair to produce the most dramatic of finishes to this ABS Tier 1 season? Just 10 remain. Everyone that finishes scores points. It's a bonus to these drivers who have kept it clean for the most part in this race, as Jaffa and V2 Combat are going for it into Desida Delago and up the hill towards turn 6 and 7. FRA Plaky still about 7/10 behind. It's not enough at the moment, as Joran's Fair has drove his heart out in this one. It's absolutely beautiful, this sort of racing. We love it. But Joran's Fair heading now into Junsao. He's only got a straight line pretty much in terms of the way F1 cars take this final stretch of track. Joran's Fair is finally on the last attempt gonna become a race winner this season. Joran's Fair wins the season 6 finale at Brazil. He's done it. FRA Plaky, it's not quite enough, as Borba Boy does get on the podium ahead of Jaffa, ahead of Seed, ahead of Nitro, and then V2 Combat. TRT Verlies took a massive, massive hit. They're finishing down in P8. Bolero Fox, it's P3 in the championship. Bad F1 opinion. Technically beat him over 15 races.
Yeah, that was definitely a very interesting race. But Joran Smith, definitely the deserved champion. What am I saying? Deserved race winner today. He definitely kept his nose clean, got the gap when he needed to. Great racing. Borba Boy is the driver of the day from last to a podium. Very, very decent drive from him all the way, and definitely deserved of that podium. But it is Joran Smith who does win the season finale in dramatic fashion, but definitely deserved race winner.
Absolutely. I'm starving. Dinner's ready. I would like to get in some quick interviews, if possible. But yeah, in the end, that is the season over here in Tier 1, of course. You know, we've still got some definitely festive racing to come over to Tier 3 and Tier 4, of course. So I will remind you of that before you think about exiting this stream. Let's invite our Dutch 1-2. It's been an incredible week for Dutch Motorsport. It's been an incredible year as well, if we include Nick de Vries' success in Formula E. And yeah, they're absolutely smashed it, these two today. Only came down to 9/10 in the end. Borba Boy getting his deserved podium from P20. What a mega job he's put in. 2 podiums in the 2 races he competed in. He did blow his final qualifying lap, did Bourbon Boy, but he made it count when it mattered in the race, as many could not state are those DNFs, and obviously Alan E and FH DNFing as well, but they are classified, doesn't matter, no point. I'm going to hurry up then with these interviews, and let's start, if I could, with FRA Plakey. You drove your heart out today. You know, it was always going to be difficult because John Sver, your fellow Dutchman, put in just that little bit extra, really, you know, just a few tenths a lap at some points, but overall it was a close, tense battle, and you've come out from this in P2 in the final race of the season. Just talk us through your race. How did that one unfold from your perspective?
Well, first of all, result pace was decent. Never expected to be so far up. When the first safety car came out, then I lost the DRS, and then I was just losing 2 tenths per lap on Joran. He was very quick, so after all, just decent result. Only a lucky last corner extended a little bit with Bourbon Boy. Yeah, nothing to say about further. Just unlucky for that small incident.
Any other comments on that battle? Because it certainly got us up out of our seats. You know, you were really fighting your hearts out there for a podium position. So yeah, just what did you think of that overall?
Well, I was more thinking about not extending again because I had 2 warnings, so a 3rd warning would be a penalty, so then I would not have position to fight for P1 as I knew that Johan has a penalty. So yeah, it was fun to be honest.
Absolutely. Well done on your result. Jish, any questions for our 2nd place finisher?
Oh yeah, Plucky, that was a very good race. Obviously, you didn't get the greatest of starts at this, greatest of getaways at the start. Was that just how was that? Did you just react late to the lights, or was that maybe a tyre wear issue?
You mean like the real start? I had
the real start.
Well, I had an amazing start. I had P1 in the first corner.
That was Joran. Sorry. Oh my goodness me. That was Joran who got the bad start. Oh my goodness. I thought it was the oh dearie me. It's been a
no
long
problem.
night, lads.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, great start there. Great start. Did you going into the lead, you just couldn't hold it on anyway. But congratulations on the P2.
Thank you.
Let's speak then to Bourbon Boy, who has joined us. 2 races done in ABS season, a win in the USA and a 3rd place in absolutely spectacular fashion here at Brazil. Obviously, Bourbon Boy, you did blow that final qualifying lap. We saw you spin off at Junção. It was looking so good for you to be mixing it in from the get-go, but you've done all that you needed to really in this one. Took advantage of the safety cars, took advantage of the chaos, but overall drove a brilliant and clean race as well. So, your opinions on that?
I won't speak about quality. Just spun a lot, and I know why now, because I was running a wet setup, but not a wet setup. So that was a bit interesting. The race was very chaotic. Could never really get into a rhythm because everyone just kept battling. And then when I eventually got clean out, I saw Blackie and Joran like 14 seconds of the road. I was like, oh, well then, the podium's the best I'm going to get. And then the safety car came out, more battling, and then another safety car. So yeah, it's a chaotic race. But I think it was fine, I guess. I don't really know what to say, to be honest.
It was a safety car race.
Indeed. I don't really have anything else to ask you, so I will hand it over to Jish, who I'm sure has a question for you.
Yeah, definitely. But that was a brilliant try from last to third. Did it ever get a little bit hectic in there? Obviously, there was a lot of racing, but did you ever feel the pressure to maybe the podium was not on?
I wouldn't say the podium wasn't on because lots of people had pens, so I wasn't that. I was just a bit disappointed I couldn't get maybe second or first. As I think if I did manage to clear Placky, I think I had more pace at the end then, so it would have been close, maybe with Joanne's pen, but traffic is annoying.
Yeah, it is indeed. But unfortunately, how it ends, unfortunately. But congratulations on that podium, and definitely deserve a driver of the day there.
Thank you.
Agreed. Agreed, absolutely. Let's speak to our race winner, Mr. Composure, I'm going to call him. That safety car restart, that was incredible. First possible opportunity and taking the race win as a result. I don't think it would have been the same without that overtake. Do you agree with that, Joran? Certainly as well with a penalty. You must have been trembling, hoping
Yeah,
that,
I was pushing
you
so
just
so
didn't.
damn hard.
Yeah.
I'm sweating right now, but need to take my shirt off. Yeah. But yeah, I needed to push. I needed to overtake him first opportunity because if that didn't happen, Blackie would have won the race. Audio isn't included, so. And yeah, I don't know if is this my first ABS win this year or.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This season, absolutely, yeah.
That's nice at the end then. And yeah, nothing to say further. I think was a nice race.
I mean, you've been improving so much, particularly in these last few races. You've just hit some very, very lofty heights, I have to say. And
Thanks.
you know, there's a new year literally in a couple of weeks. You know, you're setting yourself any goals to go a step further?
Maybe top 3. Well, aim for that. I don't have time to practice this tracks though, so it's not going well every week. But I will try to get as high as possible.
Yeah, I mean that just says it even more. Then you know, drivers that come on there and talk to in interviews and say, "Oh, I didn't practice." Fair play for pulling that out. Then, just one more thing. Incredible week, incredible year for Dutch Motorsport, I have to say, and you've gone and topped the lot, in my opinion. You two. So congratulations for that ABS Tier 1, the most prestigious of the lot. But yeah, Jish, just finally, any questions for our race winner?
I'll probably ask the same question as I did to Flacky. Obviously, this probably is better answered to Joran. Obviously, I got that wrong. But you did get the greatest of start, but you did get it back in the end. So massive congratulations there. Was that? I'll ask the same question. Was that due to just the temperatures, or was that just a late reaction to the lights? Obviously, they were on for a long time.
I had some wheel spin. That's all. And I forgot to lower my tire pressures at the start of the race, so I was driving with max tire pressure the whole race.
I definitely did well to manage it in the end. So massive congratulations there, and you did win the race. So congratulations there, and good luck for the next season.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, guys. Been a pleasure covering this season. My thanks, of course, to PSR Jish for joining me across the last 2 rounds. And France. Don't forget France, sorry. But yeah, been an absolute pleasure covering ABS this season. Hopefully, I'll return at some point for the merge. I've not quite made my mind up yet what I want to do. So, yeah, obviously that will come in due course. But whatever's next in the new year for ABS and HFR, I don't know what it's called, to be honest. I'm sorry, but I hope it's good. I hope it works out, and I hope I'm able to be part of it in some way. But that just about rounds it up. I want my dinner. I'm really hungry. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching throughout this season. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully We'll see you across obviously tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4, and hopefully in the new year as well. Thanks for watching. See you then.